Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we are in the 17th Psalm, and in this psalm, David is going to write a prayer of confidence, a prayer of certainty. We've seen various psalms to this point that have been filled with uncertainty, filled with sorrow and grief, and wondering when things are going to change and how God is going to take care of all of these things. Here in Psalm 17, we have a psalm that is certain of God taking care of these things, but also of David's relationship with God. So let's look at what David says in Psalm 17. Beginning in verse 1, we read, Hear a just cause, O Lord, attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer, which is not from deceitful lips. Let my vindication come from your presence. Let your eyes look on the things that are upright. You have tested my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me and found nothing. I have purposed in my mouth that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men, by the word of your lips, I have kept away from the paths of the destroyer. Uphold my steps in your paths, that my footsteps may not slip. I have called upon you, for you will hear me, O God. Incline your ear to me, and hear my speech. Show your marvelous loving kindness by your right hand. O you who save those who trust in you, from those who rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings, from the wicked who oppress me, from my deadly enemies who surround me. They have closed up their fat hearts. With their mouths they speak proudly. They have now surrounded us in our steps. They have set their eyes, crouching down to the earth, as a lion is eager to tear his prey, and like a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, confront him, cast him down. Deliver my life from the wicked with your sword, with your hand from men, O Lord, from men of the world who have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your hidden treasure. They are satisfied with children, and leave the rest of their possessions for their babes. As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. Here in Psalm 17, you have David with a problem, yes, but at the same time, you have the certainty of a solution and also the certainty that God knows his heart in all of it. As a matter of fact, when you begin this particular psalm, in the very early stages of it, in verse 3, David talks about the fact that you have tested my heart. Now, there have been various passages of Scripture leading up to this in Psalms that talk about how God tests mankind. But at this point, you have something that is very different because you have not a test necessarily that is going to be a test of faith per se, but you're dealing more with a test of who he is in his heart and what his heart's desire is. Now, there is a sense in which they are the same in that concept. But here, this idea of testing is to look clearly into, is the idea. He says, You have tested my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me and have found nothing. I have purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. In other words, God has seen exactly who he is and knows the purity of his heart in all of this. And so you have a situation in this psalm where David feels very comfortable and very confident coming before God because he knows he's done nothing wrong. There will be other instances where he comes before God knowing that he has sinned, knowing that he has done wrong, knowing that he is to blame, or wondering if it's because of something he has done. That is not the case in this circumstance and at this particular time. And in our lives we have very much the same thing. There are times when we know we've made mistakes. There are times when we're not sure why things are happening the way that they are. And then there's times where we know we've done what is right, and that the things that are happening right now are nothing more than the consequences of making those right decisions. Doesn't always make them easier to handle, but it does make them easier to go to God about, because we know where we stand and we know why we're dealing with those things. That's one of the things that you see here in Psalm 17, is that there is a level of certainty that the child of God can have when he knows that what is going on is because he's done what's right. And that is a very valuable tool to our relationship with God. The other thing I want us to notice from this psalm today is the fact that there's going to be an idiom that David is going to use, and it's actually one that gets utilized a lot today. But I want to make sure we understand what is being discussed with it, and that is when in verse 8 he says, "Keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me under the shadow of your wings." Now, we've all heard the usage, or probably most of us have heard the usage of talking about the apple of my eye. It is interesting to note when you go and you look up the phrase in the original Hebrew language, the term that is often translated apple here is the word in the Hebrew that literally means the pupil of the eye. Or, the dark circle of the eye. In other words, it is that upon which the eye is focused. It is an idiom of love and care and concern, of watching out for. And so you have this statement that David makes about him being the apple of God's eye. Now, oftentimes when we see the term utilized in various other places, it's about God being the apple of our eye, of us having our focus and our love and our concern on Him. But it's interesting that here David reverses it. And David talks about how he is the apple of God's eye, that God cares, that God is paying attention, that God is focused on him. And so likewise, it is the case with each of us. God pays attention to us. He is focused on us and what is best for us, and in taking care of us and in loving us. There is a specific focus that is there. We oftentimes get caught up in talking about God's love for all mankind, or God's relationship with all of his children. And while all of those things are true, there's also a sense in which we need to recognize there is a specific focus of God as well when it comes to his desire and his love and his care for each one of us individually as well. He's not just lumping us into groups and giving general love and appreciation and care for each of those groups, but rather there is a specific focus as well on his desire and his care and his love for each individual on a personal level. And so as you look at this psalm, you have David's confidence because of where he stands with God. But you also have David's confidence of what God will do in the relationship that God has with him. Both of those things are things that we can and should have if we're living our lives before God the way that we should. And so as we look at Psalm 17, these are some of the things that we can hone in on. Now, there are a lot of other things that we could talk about in this text, because there's a number of different statements that would be great to have the time to break down. We simply don't have the time to do it today. But I'd encourage you to spend some time thinking about not just what David says here, but how he approaches it and the confidence that he utilizes as he approaches God. And put that into practice in your own life. I hope that you will join us next time. Next time we will be looking at Psalm 18. Now, if you're watching this on the day that it comes out on Friday, we're going to wait until Monday to start Psalm 18 because of the fact that it's so long. We're going to have to use 2 different sessions in order to be able to cover it all. But I hope that you'll join us then and continue our study through Psalms. Until then, have a great day.